Okay, since we've done with our backend part of the selecting the post, we'll go now to the Xcode and we'll start from the programming the user interface. Okay, I'm opening my Xcode project, and the first what I will do is I'll go to main.sorter board. Okay, so this is a main sorter board. We will move now directly to the cells. I will expand the cell by 150 pixels, the first one. Okay, so in this case, as you know, we might have two types of posts. Post number one will be without the picture, which is just a plain text, and the post number two will be with some multimedia file, for example, the picture. Okay, so for these two types of posts, we're gonna have a separate prototype cells. Okay, I will start from the simple one, which is just a plain text. If you are a Facebook user, if you're using the app consistently, so you know how the user interface looks like, and so there are some elements which we'll now allocate to the cell. So first of all, we'll search for the UI imagery, which will store the profile picture of the user who uploaded the post. Okay, so we will resize it. Let's say 50 by 50 is quite small, 75 by 75, for example. Something like this, or even we can make it 50 by 50. Okay, we're going to attributes inspector, and I will assign their user dot png file. Okay, the next step will be to place their label, which will be for full name. I'll just stretch it like this till the right invisible border, and I will change the font in the attributes inspector. We'll select custom, and this will be medium, or even we can select bold like this. We click done on this. Then we place one more label, which will be for the date. Okay, I will stretch it till the right invisible border, and in attributes inspector I make the custom font, and this will be irregular. I will resize it to be smaller. Okay, in my case I will select 14 pixels, and I will select the color, let's say dark gray color. Okay, so I will align it in the sense to let it look centered. Okay, I'll just write here for myself just to know how it's gonna look like. I'll just write here something like first name and space last name. Okay, very good. And here I will write some date. It will look like this. Some value, month, then the year, and then some date. This is how it will look like. Okay, very good. And then underneath we have a text of the posts. I will stretch it till the right invisible line and till the bottom invisible line. And I'm gonna resize it by making the font custom, regular, and we can make it, let's say, 20 or 22 pixels if you want. Okay, so this is how Facebook does. And make the lines here, make the lines 0. And one more thing, select the table view here, selection, keep no selection. So it means when you select your cell, it will not be highlighted like you want to go in this. So select your table view, and on the left panel, select here table view. Then in attributes inspector selection, keep no selection. Okay, so this was the first cell. What we will do is we will make a layout alignment for this. So select the picture, click here top left width and height. Good. Then we have a label. We will select top, left, right. Then we have a date label, top, left, right. Good. Then we have a main label. So here we'll write top, left, right, and the bottom. Like this. Very good. Okay, so we are done with the prototype cell with the allocating the objects on the prototype uh, cell. By the way, I believe we have skipped certain objects, which will be a button, like, and a comment. These two buttons, by the way, we have skipped it. Okay, so what we can do here, we will search for the two buttons. I'm sorry, I will have to remove the constraints for just a label. And to make this cell bigger, we will make it 175. And here we'll put one button. And then we will just copy this, hold Alt, and just drag it. Something like this. Okay, and here we will select top, left, and the right and the bottom. Then make it Command Z back, then select button, select here left, bottom, right, then again Command Z, and for another button we'll make bottom, left. Yeah, and here we'll need a top constraint. I'll just come back and I will make a top constraints for from the button to the label. Okay, I think we just got confused. I'll remove these two buttons. I'll remove the label and I will re-add these two buttons. Here is the one and here is the second one. Okay, so for this button it will be bottom, left, and top. And for this button it will be bottom, left, and top as well. And for the label it advises us need constraint for X position. We'll just resize it like this. And to the label we will add top, left, bottom, right, for example. Bottom right. Yeah, and that's it. And what we can do then, and here we go. Yeah, we'll just resize the cell. Okay, very good. So we are done with the first cell. It was just a little bit confusing, sorry for that. And what we will do, so the main idea was to add here top left and right constraints. Here is also top left and right constraints. Resize the label, make here top, left, right, and the bottom constraints. That's it. Okay, so what we will do is we'll just select this cell from the left panel, which you can open by clicking this button. Select your home view controller, then select table view, then we're going to table view cell. Hold Command C on your Mac keyboard, or you can click here edit copy and edit paste. So make a single click on any of the objects and just now scroll it down. Here we have a new cell. So resize this cell to be quite bigger. In my case it went just too much. Resize the cell to be really bigger and scroll it down. We will Actually, what we will do is delete this cell. We'll just redo these constraints. Okay, I will select 3 of this object and let's do these constraints from the beginning. Okay, we select the label. We make top, left, and right constraints, add constraints. Then what we do, hold Control and the left mouse click, drag on the super view and bottom space to container. Okay, then we select the button. We make left, bottom, right like this, and for the second button we make bottom like this, and here it is done. Okay, this is that it may close clipping. This is, you can just ignore it. You can just ignore it. Okay, now we can copy this cell and paste it again. Okay, here we go. So let's resize this cell. We'll resize this cell. For a time being, I will remove the constraints for this label. I will just simply clear constraints, and for the button as well, clear constraints. And we will resize this cell to be a little bigger like this, because we need to put here UI image view file. Okay, I will just drag it here. Buttons, we know that they must be at the bottom. In the previous case, they are from bottom 10 pixels, keeping gap. Okay, so we'll make here the same. Okay, 10 pixels gap, and the width is, we know, is 374. Yeah, 374 by 374. This is how it's used in the Facebook. Okay, I will keep 25 pixels from, or even 10 pixels from the label, and we just need to resize it a little bit more. 530 pixels. Okay, 10 pixels from the image, and we need to extend it by 6 pixels more. 536 in my case. Okay, so okay, very good. So now we will re-add the constraints to these objects. The first objects, okay, these constraints I'm missing as well, so we will add them from the beginning. Okay, I'll select all the objects, I will clear constraints, and we'll re-add them. Okay, the profile picture, top, left, width, and height. Good, then we got the first name label, it will be top, left, right. Then we have a date label, it will be top, left, and right. Then we've got the text label. Here we can just as a placeholder, not a placeholder, for us, just for illustration, we can write here will be text of the post, and the same here will be text of the media post, let's say, like this. Okay, for this text label we'll write top, left, right, and the bottom. Then we need to go to the image. It will be left, top, and right. Then we select Control left mouse click, drag to the super view, bottom space, like this. Then here we selecting the bottom. We make it bottom, left, and right. Good. And for the second button, we're just making bottom. Here we go. Here it will advise you regarding the clipping, but you just might ignore it. It's just saying if there are a super small size, these two buttons can overlay each other, but it won't happen, so you shouldn't be worried about this. Okay, and for that one, I'll just like at least to keep some. Oops. Okay, like this. So here we go. We are done with the prototype cells. And the good step to finally complete this video will be to create the last step is new files, new classes. Cocoa attach class. Make sure that this is of type UI table view cell. So first will be no pic cell, means no picture cell. Click next, and then we click create. Then we create again a new file Cocoa attach class, and that one will be pic cell, means picture cell with the picture, pic cell, UI table view cell, language Swift. Click next and create. Very good. So let's now append this to cells to the objects. Okay, we select first cell, better use the left panel, that is the cell, which is the first one. We're going to the class inspector here, we write no pic cell. Very good. So now we've got the last table view cell, which is a pic cell. Outstanding. And as the third and last step, I would like to make an outlet connections. Select now from the no pic cell the user profile picture, call assistant editor. Here let's select automatic, it will be no pic cell. Hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag it inside this class, and this will be Ava image view. Very good. Then we have a full name label. Select this label, first name, last name label. Hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag it to the class. That one is full name label. Then we have a date label. Hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag, release date label. Excellent. So then we got a post text label. Hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag, release it here. Post text label. Here we go. Make sure that this is post text label. Don't write text label, otherwise you will start getting an error. Because text label, this is another property of the class, so there will be a conflict. So these are user interface objects. This is a first loading function, like a view did load for the subclass. This function we don't need it. Okay, so a super view like view controller, UI view controller, UI table view controller, they have a native function protocol which is a view did load. So for the sub views, not super views like UI table view cell, they have a protocol awake from nib, means they are showing. Okay. The same what we've done now we will do for the picture cell, pixel. So we're going back to our main sorter board. Select the user profile picture in the pixel. Here go to automatic, select pixel. Okay, hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag it here. This was Ava image view. Then we've got the full name label, hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag, full name label. Then we have got a date label, hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag, date label. Then we have a post text label, hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag, post text label. And the final one what we have here, picture image view. Hold Ctrl left mouse click, drag, and let's write picture image view. Outstanding. So these are user interface objects. Awake from nib, you know this is a first loading function. And this set selected, this is this method, we don't need it. Okay, so what we have done, we have created the two class for our cell, no pixel and pixel. This are exactly identical. The only difference is that picture cell, it has a picture image view, and in main storyboard, and this is how we created the user interface for our cells. So that is really amazing, guys. Congratulations. Let's move forward.